Good day everyone. Today we are from group 2. We'd like to present about reference and denotation, connotation, sense relation, and lexical and grammatical meaning. I'm Thesya Lian with student number 055. I'm going to explain about reference and denotation. Reference and denotation. There are words that seem have relation to object, events, or description things in our everyday life. We often think that language consists of so many words and each word has direct correlation with meanings. The first is Mentalistic Theory about Meaning by Outkin and Richards. What is it? A mentalistic theory about meaning is an attempt to explain what is in people's mind. We can take a look to the scheme. The bond between word and concept is called association. The bond between concept and object is called reference. And the bond between object and word it's called meaning. When we hear or read a word, we often form a mental picture of what the word represents. And so we are apt to equate concept with a mental picture. The example is a door and a dog. In your mind, what is a door? A revolving door, a folding door, a sliding door, moving horizontally, a door turning or hinges, or anything? Is your image associated with dog that of a Saint Bernard or a Pekingese, a mongrel or an Irish setter? We can picture all of this sequence but not simultaneously. The meaning of door and or dog is more than what is included in a single image, and people's knowledge of these words is much more than the ability to relate them to single objects. Now we can take a look the reference. Reference is the relation between a language expression. The example is this door, both doors, the dog, another dogs, or whatever expression a speaker may imagine. In the other words, reference is the way speakers and hearers use an expression successfully. Now, denotation. What is it? Denotation is the potential of words like door or dog to enter into such language expression. In the other words, denotation is the knowledge they have that makes their use successful. Now, there are some troubles with mentalistic theory of meaning that are not all words can be associated with mental image, and some words have a range of meaning greater than any single association. The second is we have no access to other people's mind. How we can ever know that we all have the same mental image? And then furthermore, words are not only semantic units. The example is the dog bit a man and the man bit a dog. It is contain the same words, but they don't express the same meaning. Meaning also expressed by units that may be smaller than words, that is morphemes, and meaning can also express in units that are larger than words, that is sentence. And the last is meaning is more than denotation. Language furnishes the meanings for expressing a wide range of attitudes, that is connotation.
Now we are talking about connotation. Connotation is an idea or feeling that a word invokes in addition to its primary meaning. So connotation is only a part of a word or phrase meaning. the emotional association it elicits, which clearly need not be the same for all people who know and use the word. To know better, there's an example here. Starting from identifying the denotation of the word dog, which could also refer as this dog or a dog, and also several dogs. Now, talking about the connotation. The connotation is focusing more on how particular society value dogs. Like the example here, the Eskimos see dog as an animal that is used for pulling a sled. The Parsis see or value dog as a sacred animal, while the Hindus, on the other hand, see dog as a great pest. And on Western Europe and America value dog merely as a pet or as a hunting buddy or as a guarding system. To conclude, denotation is the primary meaning of the word, the central aspect of the word, and everybody generally would agree on the denotation of that word. And connotation is only a part of its meaning, personal aspect of the emotional associations that word arouses. So everyone wouldn't have agree or have the same connotation of the word or phrase, just like how different the Eskimos, the Parsis, Hindus, and Western Europe and America value dog. Connotation is determined by each person's experience when they are from the same community or sharing the same experience. They might have the same connotation on some words or phrases. Languages provide means of expressing different attitudes. For example, the word automobile and car both can refer to each other on a particular occasion, but they do not have the same meaning. They differ in connotation. They have the same denotation but differ in situations in which they are used, and they have different degree of formality. The way we choose which word to use could also represent our attitudes toward that word, just like how I prefer using the word thin or slender to describe my friend rather than skinny.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Vania Desthalia and my number is 76. Today I'm going to explain about the sense relations, the meaning that the lexeme has because of this relationship. Lexeme itself doesn't have meaning. They depend on the other lexemes they associated with indigenous utterance to make meaning. So for the examples is John book and an hour ellipse. This is correct because they make sense. And the other example is John ellipse or an hour walk. This is incorrect because ellipse itself it goes with hours, seconds, minutes, not John's. And then the difference meaning with context. We see in the example of Professor Jones has a rather large library, and library in here as a collection of books. The other hand example is the library is at the corner of Wilson and Adams Streets. Library in here as a building that houses a collection of books. So they have sense of word which is library, but they have a different meaning with the context. The first is as a collection of books and the second is as a building. And then second one is the differences ways of using verb, which is used grammatical association. For the example, a window broke. Broke in here equivalent to became broke. And the other example is Tom broke a window. Broke in here equivalent to cause to be broke. And there are many ways to express the differences such as in adjective. The different way of using adjective: if we come across some object which have never seen before and wonder about its origin and its purpose, we can say that I'm curious about it. But we can also call the object a curious kind of thing. And the next one is syntagmatic relations, the mutual association of two or more words in a sequence. So the lexemes that connect with other lexemes make meaning of the large unit. It can be at sentence or at phrase. For the example is arbitrary can occur with judge, happy with child, or accident and sit with chair. The contrastive relations, instead we saying the judge was arbitrary, we can also say the judge was careless. And the next one is paradigmatic relations. Paradigmatic relation is a relation of choice which shares the similar words in the meaning. For the example is the judge careless or cautious. So the both of careless and cautious is have a similar word in the meaning. And next,
Before I start to explain this part, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Utami Sari Dewi and my student number is 067. So there is a sentence, the dog barked, and this sentence is a meaningful sentence which is composed of smaller meaningful part. The first smaller part is the phrase a dog. Dog in here is refers to a certain animal. It is called a referring expression. A referring expression is a piece of language that is used as if it is linked to something outside language. The entity to which the referring expression is linked to referent. And another meaningful part is the verb, which is bark, that linked to an activity associated with the referring expression a dog. We call this as a predicate. We can see in the sentence the dog barked, the sentence has several kind of grammatical meanings. The first is the grammatical system of English makes possible the expression of meaning, like statement versus question, affirmative versus negative, past versus present, singular versus plural, and the last is indefinite versus definite. And the second one is the grammatical meanings are expressed in various ways. The arrangement of words that referring expression before the predicate. By grammatical affixes, add s or es in the end of word that give meaning to the noun, whether it is singular or plural, and ed to the verb that give meaning past or present. So now I will talk about the lexical meaning. So the meaning of the dog and bark are not grammatical, but it is a lexical meaning. With association outside language, the dog and bark are lexemes. Lexeme is minimal unit that can take part in referring or predicating, so that's why we say that the dog and bark are lexemes. All of the lexeme of language constitute the lexicon of language, and all the lexemes that you know make up your personal lexicon. The term lexeme was proposed by Lian to avoid complexities with the vogue word. And here it is two examples. The first example is go, going, when, and gone. This is we call as lexical meaning because there are four forms. There are four different meaning and they have a shared meaning. So that's why we call this as a lexical meaning. And four forms constitute one lexeme, which is go. And the second example is it is a phrasal word like put up with, kick the bucket, and talk in the manger. And because these are phrasal words, so the meaning is not a combination of their separate meaning, and they create a new meaning, and they only have one lexeme, not three lexeme or two lexeme. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
And that's all from our group presentation. Thank you for listening, and if you have any question, you can ask in forum on the aula. And that's all. Thank you very much, and goodbye.